here we are again. It is the end of August, so let's get into the physical media round. What is going on, guys? My name is Dustin. Welcome back to the channel. Yes, it is the end of August, which is crazy to think about, and I got a pretty good amount of stuff that I want to go over with you guys. So first, I'm going to go ahead and start with the collectibles and the books, and then we're going to go into the movies, because this month kind of shocked me with everything that I was able to get. A lot of it, man, shout out to my wife. She sees this stuff when she's out, and my wife's the best. Also, I got some stuff from Whatnot, the stuff that I did in a trade. If you didn't watch that video, go watch it. Basically, I traded an extra one of these Empire Screams box sets and did a 5-for-5 movie trade. So if you want to see the stuff in more detail, like of the stuff I traded for, it's on the channel. I also did a complete horror movie collection where I went through all the movies on the shelf behind me and showed off every single one of my horror movies, box sets, everything like that. So we're going to go with the books, and then the collectibles, and then the movies. So 2 books this month. The first one being You Won't Believe Me by Sinbalog. I don't know. I don't ever really check my Walmart's book section, because the Walmart that's closest to my wife and I that we go to, their book section is super small, and it's a lot of kids stuff. So it's not very often that they actually have a decent selection of books that I would read, because I'm pretty picky when it comes to what I like in terms of books. I'm a big Stephen King guy. I also really like the Clown in the Cornfield series that Adam Caesar's done. I like horror thriller type books, and it's so hard for me to pick up a book and actually be interested in it by reading the synopsis on it. But this is one that definitely intrigued me. It says Willow is alone, confined to a bed with restraints. She can't remember how she got there or how long she's been there. An old lady appears in her room to feed her twice a day. Granny doesn't talk, but Willow can hear thumping from somewhere beyond her door. It's not Granny's shuffling steps. It's too loud to be Granny's cat. Is it someone? Something. Then Granny's cat dies in Willow's room, and Granny follows. A few days later, Willow will do anything to survive, but freeing herself from the bed is the only beginning, because there is someone else in the house. Who is this mysterious teen who calls himself Elijah, and is he the reason she's hostage or the key to her escape? I don't know. I read that, and I was like, this seems like something that I could really get into. And it's decently long, 346 pages, so it's going to be a pretty good read. And then another one I picked up from an author that I really think I'm going to get into from what I read. And this is a book by Riley Sager, who takes a lot of inspiration from Stephen King, and this one is called The Only One Left. I've read a couple synopses of other books that Riley has wrote, and I'm super in. So I really think I'm going to like this author a lot. Basically, this kind of goes through different time periods, but of like the same story. Basically, it's very inspired by the Lizzie Borden murders. So I'm in on this one as well. Pretty excited. Then for collectibles, I got my first ever NECA figure. You think, being like a horror fan, that I would have more of this stuff. I just think a lot of it's expensive, but one of the NECA lines that stood out to me that's definitely really cheap and affordable is the Toonie Terrors line. So I did pick up Michael, the Toonie Terrors. Yes, I took it out of the box. I just don't have a place to put these or display them properly in the box. I do plan on getting a couple of these. I'm not going to go crazy with this series or this line from NECA, just because, I don't know, I'm just going to get ones that I like. Like, they also had Ghostface, and they had like the bloody variant of this one too, where he had the blood coming from the eyes. This is from Halloween 2, but I just opted for this one, and it also came with the little pumpkin with the skull. So yeah, I'll probably only get ones I like. I know there's like a 3-pack from Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, which is like the 3 characters, which I think is really cool. So if I ever see it, yeah, I'll probably pick it up. But other than that, I'm not going to like buy a ton of these, just the ones that I like. And then probably the one thing that I've been talking about the last couple years that I've wanted was a Myers mask. Now, I do have a couple ones that are definitely knockoffs, and they were gifts, and it was funny because like they looked bad, and that's what made them funny. But my wife and I went to Spirit Halloween, and I finally decided to grab a Myers 2018 mask. Now, like I think last year or 2 years ago, my wife and I went to a Spirit Halloween, and I tried on the original mask from the '78 film, and it was just way too big. I put this mask on in Spirit Halloween, and it fit my face so well that my wife just laughed, and she was like, you know, you've wanted it forever. I even got like the Spirit Halloween like mechanic jumpsuit. It's not obviously movie accurate, but I don't care. I have something I always wanted. Yes, I also blacked out the eyes. I put some like mesh behind the eyes because I like the idea of the blackout eyes. But yeah, this is the Trick or Treat Studios 40-year mask, or 2018, whatever you want to call it. But I would love to eventually spend the money and buy a rehauled mask. They're just super expensive, and I don't have a lot of space nor a proper way to display them. But I would love to eventually get like a rehauled mask. Maybe one day. It's just not going to happen anytime soon. But I'm super happy with this, and it fits super well because I have a small head. So yeah, I really, really like this. And I have put this on, and I have followed my wife down to the mailbox in broad daylight, and I got a lot of strange looks. Now for the movies. I'm just going to grab, these aren't in any particular order. I'll just tell you where I got them, if I watched them, what I thought about them. First up, we have Bert Kreischer, his movie, The Machine. If you don't know who Bert Kreischer is, he's the shirtless guy on the front. You've definitely probably seen him before. There was a viral video of him telling the story about how he got involved with the Russian mob back when he was in college, and it was a real story, supposedly, and they made a movie based on it. Obviously, the movie's like super over the top, and it has Mark Hamill in it, but I watched this with my wife, and I loved it. I laughed so hard. Definitely worth a pickup. It's super, super funny, and I highly recommend it. I had a really good time. The Machine, Bert Kreischer. Watch it. So, Walmart last month did a retro vibe. I think they called it Retro Vibes, where they took a bunch of movies and gave them just really like retro, like 70s looking slipcovers. And they did a lot of Blu-rays, which was super cool. And I got pretty much all the Blu-rays. I think the only one I didn't get was like the Smokey and the Bandit collection, because I have no interest in the 5-film Rambo collection, but everything else was a part of that. This was a gift from my wife. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I love these movies. I've watched them numerous times, and here we go. I mean, it's all the theatrical versions, so it's not like any of the extended or anything like that, but it just has this really cool slipcover, and I'm happy with it, and it's just a standard case underneath. Again, yeah, it's not like the extended versions or anything, so I'll take the theatrical cuts. I love these movies regardless, so pretty excited. Another one, a movie that is from the 80s, that is a really good PG-13 horror movie, The Gate. And it's kind of crazy now because people are starting to sell this thing for like close to $30, and there's a reason why. You see this slipcover, you wouldn't think anything of it, but underneath, it is the Vestron Collector's Edition, just with a different slipcover. You can see the Vestron video logo down there, the Blu-ray, and this is number 8 in the Vestron line. Now, I do own some other Vestron titles. I own from Silent Night, Deadly Night collection on, and these are ones that, you know, are probably really hard to find if you wanted to collect the slips with them, but I'm not really too picky about it. So, nonetheless, it's still a Vestron title. It just doesn't have the numbered slipcover, which really doesn't bother me either way, but it's still really cool to have. Next up, we have another 3-film collection, and that is The Lost Boys. Now, I love the first movie. I own it on 4K. I didn't know that there was 2 other ones, which is crazy. So I'm really excited to check them out. I love the first movie, but there you go. The Lost Boys 3-film collection, which is pretty rad, and they're all on separate discs. So that's really cool. Super happy to have that. And the slipcover is really awesome. And these were cheap, guys. These were only like 10 to 15 bucks a piece. Next up, we got a Stephen King film, The Mist. This was the one, like, when I started seeing people post about these on Facebook and stuff, this is the one slipcover that, like, really stood out to me. This is from 1999. Well, no, not 1999. 2007. This is the 2007 one. Yeah, with Thomas Jane. I don't know why I kept saying 99, but it says 99 on here, but then it says 2007. So this is the 2007 one. 2-disc collector's edition. The Mist. There we go. That artwork almost looks fake on the front. I don't know. But this is one that, like I said, it really stood out to me. So, you know, I'm happy about it. I love this movie. It's a great time. Another Stephen King title, and this is from Whatnot. I got a few from Whatnot. I'll go over that. We have Salem's Lot. Now, I'm not seen this movie, and I have not read the book. But I do plan on reading the book and then watching the movie, because I don't know what it is about Stephen King films. Like, I love a lot of them, but I also really like his books. A good example being Pet Sematary. I read the book. I've watched the movies, the remake. I've watched the original one. I've watched the second one. And the book was just mind-blowingly better than the movies. I still love the movies, but the book. So I want to read first and then watch the movies to kind of compare. Another Stephen King film, we have The Shining. This was another one from Whatnot. And I got all these for like $1 a piece, which was awesome. You okay? my wife's over there. She was just looking around. But yeah, The Shining. I mean, again, I've watched this movie, never read the book. I actually have a Stephen King like leather hardbound book that has Carrie, Salem's Lot, and The Shining in it. So I'm gonna read all three of them at some point in time. But I cannot wait to get into the book. I've heard great things about the book, but I also just love this movie. I do want to get Dr. Sleep and read that at some point in time as well as the movie. Next up, this is a movie that I really wanted to get and watch with my wife, and I really feel like this movie flew under the radar because we both enjoyed it, and that is Guy Ritchie's The Covenant with Jake Gyllenhaal. And I've heard mixed reviews on it, but I really liked it. My wife and I kind of have a thing for war movies because she used to work for the government and got to like kind of see old paperwork from like World War II and stuff like that, and you know, other things. I can't talk too much about it, but she got to see some stuff and it really piqued her interest. And so anytime I see like a war movie, it's just her and I kind of like to watch them. So this one was really, really good, and it really flew under the radar. So check this movie out if you like Jake Gyllenhaal and just like a good war film, because it is a very, very good story, and we really liked it. Speaking of Vestron, the newest release from Vestron, I had pre-ordered this when they announced it a long time ago. My Best Friend's a Vampire. This is number 30 in the line. And, oh man, this movie was cheesy 80s fun. I believe this came out, it says 1988. Yeah, this movie was cheesy 80s awesomeness. I loved every bit of this movie. I've never seen it before up until I got it. And I watched it. This artwork is awesome. It looks great. Vestron always puts out really, really good stuff. If you don't know, Vestron is owned by Lionsgate. So just really cool and super, super affordable. You can always find these like single movie collections like this for sometimes less than $10, which I'm pretty sure that's like less than I paid for the pre-order, was like less than $10. So super happy with that. Next up, we have Tom Hanks in The Burbs. This was recommended to me by my buddy Ryan, and I've also seen a lot of people talk about this and say that this movie was really good. And I watched it, and I had an absolute blast. It was super fun. Now, this is kind of deemed a horror comedy. I didn't see any horror aspect of it. I mean, I guess you kind of could, but like, I don't know. I just thought it was a really good time, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, Tom Hanks, too. The Burbs. Pretty good movie. Now, the next ones were a part of that trade that I talked about, that I did the whole video on. So, first up, we have the Scream Factory version of Trick or Treat with Sam. And if you can see behind me, I actually have a little Sam Funko Pop right there. It's like the only thing that fits on my shelf in that blank space. I'm going to try to find things to fill that up. But yeah, Trick or Treat, the Scream Factory version. Love this movie. I'm going to check it out with my wife. I don't think she's ever seen it, but we're going to watch it together at some point whenever we get the chance. We have Day of the Dead by George Romero. So I own the complete George Romero Dead trilogy, if you want to call it that. We have Day of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, and Dawn of the Dead. So cannot wait to check this out. I've seen the other two. I've never seen this one, and I heard this one's pretty good. So someone commented on my video, and they're like, "You're going to like it." And I was like, cool. Can't wait to check it out. So eventually I'm going to get to this as well. A movie that I watched a lot as a kid, and I remember the guy with his head in a cage scaring the crap out of me, 13 Ghosts, the Scream Factory edition with the slipcover. Super, super cool. I have seen this pop up quite a few times online. Just to buy. I mean, you can buy it still for for retail price, but the chances of you getting it with the slip are slim. Which, if you don't care, then pick it up. But it just happened to be in a trade, and it all worked out because I'm super happy to have this. Then we have probably one of what I would consider like a big grail for me in my collection, and that is the Arrow video version of Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This thing with the slipcover goes for crazy amounts of money. Without the slipcover, it still goes for a pretty decent amount of money. Super happy to have this. I actually own just like the standard like Blu-ray that you can find anywhere of it. So I'm super happy to have the Arrow video version. And I don't think my wife has ever seen this movie. We've talked about it, and I'm going to get her to watch it at some point in time. A lot of people on her TikTok lives have told her that she needs to watch it too, so eventually we're going to get to it. And I might show her this one just because it's an Arrow video release, so it's going to be good. The last one from the trade, we have the Scream Factory edition of The Autopsy of Jane Doe. This movie is terrifying. This movie scared the crap out of me. I'm not going to lie to you. I know it was on Netflix at one point in time, and that's where I watched it a long time ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago. Scared the crap out of me. But it was still really cool. If you can find this on streaming, check it out. So, yeah, this is another one that you can buy, but the chances of you getting with the slip are probably pretty slim. Next up here, we have... I was just talking about how Walmart released the retro vibes. They are also doing their horror slipcovers now with the glow-in-the-dark covers on DVDs. But they also have a good amount of Blu-rays. And this is one that we picked up. Candyman 3, Day of the Dead. I started watching this. I didn't finish it because I ended up going to bed because work. My kids are back in school, so we're up early now. I just didn't get to finish it. But another cool thing about this... Collector's Edition. This is another Vestron video title, number 24, and you can pick it up at Walmart for $10 with the slip. Yes, it's not the numbered slip like how the My Best Friend is a Vampire thing is, but it's still really cool. The other movies that were there on Blu-ray were Evil Dead 2, which I own, American Psycho, which I own, Cabin in the Woods, which I own. The only other one that I want to pick up that I don't own is Texas Chainsaw from 2012, I think. That's the only other one I want of these, so if I can come across it again, I'll probably get it. But if not, I'm really cool with this. It's another Vestron title without the actual Vestron slip. And then we have 2 more Whatnot ones. We have Shark Night. Yeah, Shark Night. So, again, these were all like less than $1 each. So I paid I think with shipping $6 for 4 movies, which isn't bad. The one was an absolute steal, which I'm going to show you last. But Shark Night. Anytime I see a shark movie, I try to get it just because it makes me think of my son. My son is really into sharks. He loves the Jaws movies. He loves the Meg. He's so excited for the Meg 2. So when that comes out, we're definitely going to have to pick that up. But he's just really into that stuff. So, I grabbed it. We watched it. it wasn't the best, but it wasn't awful. It definitely is a kind of shut your brain off movie, but I mean, it was okay. We didn't love it, we didn't hate it. And then the last one I got from Whatnot, which is an absolute steal, Exorcist 2, The Heretic. I have seen the first one, I've seen the third one, I've not seen the second one. How? I don't know, but this is the Scream Factory version, so I'm happy with it. And that is everything that we got. So let me know what you guys think. What did you pick up? I know there's some stuff coming out this month that I'm probably not going to get until like next month. I do plan on getting that No Strings Attached movie with Jennifer Lawrence, and just because it looks really funny in a movie I'd enjoy with my wife. And possibly The Flash. I don't know. I started watching it on HBO Max. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm gonna finish it and see how I feel. And if I don't care for it, I'm just not gonna waste my time picking it up. But again, guys, that is everything. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys are brand new to the channel. As always, I'll see you later in another video. Bye bye.